Hey guys, just gonna wait for a few minutes. I know we're kind of delayed a bit today. Apologies about it. So we'll start it in a couple of minutes. Hey, Chronix. Ooh, quiet day today. So guys, if you're just joining in, what we're going to be doing is going to go through these questions fairly slowly today. So the way we're going to go about it is, as always, I'll go through the questions one step at a time. And I know if you're joining in looking at this, oh man, I got no idea how to do this. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go through each one of these questions slowly, and then after that what we'll do is, depending on how many of you guys are feeling confident, we'll actually do kind of like similar questions like that. So basically today all I'm focusing on is simplifying questions and solving questions. So these are the types of questions we'll be doing. So there are some couple of more challenging ones at the end, but I'll tell you what, you'll be fine by the time you go through all of these. Welcome. So without further ado, let's actually get started with the first question here. Trying to get some space happening here, but it's all right. Okay, so when we have this type of question here, the common mistake that I kind of see people doing is that they don't understand fractions. So what ends up happening is that they, you add the two x's together and then you add the 5 and 15, and I've seen people do some silly mistakes with this. All right, but what we need to do in this case is we kind of need to make sure when we're adding two fractions is to make sure that these two numbers here, the denominators, are the same, because if the denominators are not the same, then we can't actually add the fractions together. So looking at the number 5 and 15, the first thing I want to do is I want to find the lowest common multiple between 5 and 15. Hello, Portugate, welcome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down this equation first. So I've got x over 5 plus x over 15 equals 2. Now, if I look at the the left-hand side fraction, yeah, sure, Portgate, you can just chuck on the answers and I'll go through with them as well. So I've got to multiply the denominator by 3 because then I can actually make the denominator 15. But if I multiply by 3 in the denominator, I've also got to multiply the numerator by 3 as well. So when we do this, we've got 3 times x in the numerator, and then we've got 15 in the denominator, plus x over 15, and this is now equal to 2. So because they have both of those fractions on the left-hand side have the same denominator, we can actually add them up. So we're going to go 3x plus x, which equals to 4x, and then 15 is just the denominator, and so we're going to leave it like this. So the next part is we've got to get rid of the 15, so we're going to get 4x is equal to 2, and when 15 is being divided on the left-hand side, so when I bring it to the right-hand side, it's going to become multiplied. So what's going to happen is I'm going to end up with 2 times 15. And of course, this is 4x is equal to 30. And then finally, I need to get rid of the 4. So when I move it to the other side, I end up with divided by 4 because 4 is getting multiplied. Now, you can actually leave your answer as a fraction, 30 over 4. There's something wrong with it. But if you are confident, then you can almost put it as 7.5, so 30 over 4. So let me know how you guys went with that. If you guys are good with that question, or would you like another one like that before we go on to question B? Actually, not question B, that should be in question 2. So let me know how you guys feel about this one, and if you're good with it, then we can move on to question 2. Cool. We'll go to question 2 then. So question 2, what we have got here is, and I've kind of mixed up a couple of things here with question 2. I've actually put an inequality in there, and I've also put not common denominators. So the reason I put this in here with question 2 is because this ends up usually being a merit type of question, and I'm trying to combine pretty much most of the skills that you're going to need for simplifying and solving. So that's why there's like a combination of various different things here. So let's go to question 2. So with question 2, I mean, if you look at the difference between question 1 and 2, in question 1 we had 5 and 15. So right there we had 5 and 15 as the denominators. So in that case, we just needed to convert one of those denominators into 15. However, in this case, we've got 5 and 3 in the denominator. And because we've got 5 and 3 in the denominator, the lowest common multiple is 15. All right, so because it's 15, what we're going to need to do is we need to change those denominators. So I'm just going to space this out a little bit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the denominator by 3 and the numerator by 3. And for the x over 3, I'm going to multiply the denominator by 5 and the numerator by 5. So the next part after that is I need to simplify those fractions. So I've got 3 times x, which is 3x, and then 3 times 5 is 15. Take away 5 times x is 5x, and then 5 times 3 is 15, and all of this is less than 2. Now at this point, because 15 is the same denominators for both of them, I can combine them. So what I'm going to get is 3x take away 5x over 15 is less than or equal to 2. So 3x take away 5x is going to be negative 2x over 15 is less than or equal to 2. And then now we're going to get rid of that 15. So 15 goes to the right hand side, and because it's being divided on the left hand side, on the right hand side it becomes multiplication. So what we've got here is negative 2x is less than or equal to 30. Now one last thing to remember is when we actually have dividing by a negative number, so in this case we're actually getting rid of the negative 2. So because it's getting multiplied on the other side, it's going to be divided by negative 2. And here's the kicker. Because we're dividing by negative 2, this is the part where we need to change the symbol. All right. The only time you ever need to change that symbol is when you actually divide by a negative number. Apart from that, you don't have to worry about you pretty much treat the symbol as just like equals, but only when you divide by a negative number, that's the only time you have to change it. So our answer in this case, it's going to be x is greater than or equal to 30 divided by negative 2 is negative 15. All right, guys, so let me know if you are okay with this. If you want another question like this, I can give you another question. Otherwise, we move on to question 3. Going at a good pace today. Cool. Thank you, Chronix, for that. So we really are powering through this today. Yeah, sure you don't want another question of this type? Or are you happy with it? Sorry to hear, Fatima. Have you done this type of question before, number 2? And I think we also did number 1. Yuktiagi, I don't know, man. I don't know how long this lockdown is going to go for, but if it does go for a little bit longer, then I might actually have to bring back Mathedemic, how I did last year with level 2s and level 3s. Which one are you particularly looking for, Yug? Complex numbers, differentiation, or integration? Integration. Yeah, I think, well, I probably would need to do differentiation first, and then because I haven't done that at all, and I know a few people are still asking me for that. But complex numbers I can share with you. But anyway, look, I'll just come back to you on that, Yug, because I'm not sure what's going to happen with us when lockdown. If we do go into a longer lockdown, then yes, I'll probably bring back level 2 and level 3 tutorials. But if it's a shorter lockdown, then I'm aiming to just get rid of well, not get rid of, the finish off MCAT stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go to question 3 because seems like it's been fairly quiet. So question 3, what we have got here is there's no solve because it's just two fractions put together, and we just got to try and put these two fractions, put it equal to each other, all right? So that's all we're doing. So once again, we're going to do the same thing as what we did in the first question that we did today with question number 1. Because if you look at question number 1, we had 5 and 15. I'm always going to go back to that. So 5 and 15, the lowest common multiple between those two was 15. So if you think about x and 4x, the lowest common multiple is going to be 4x. So if that's the case, what I could actually do is go here, and I'm going to write this as 2 over x plus 5 over 4x. And all I really need to do is take that first fraction, and I've got to multiply the denominator by 4 and the numerator by 4. Because if I do that, then I know that the denominator is going to be 4x. So the numerator, I've got 4 times 2, which is 8. And then 4 times x, which is 4x, plus 5 over 4x. And so now this is equal to 13 over 4x. So that's just a simplification of number 3. Any questions with that? Would you guys like another question like that, or are you happy with it? Cool. Okay, let's go to number 4 then. Do you guys want to try number 4 and then throw up some answers first, rather than me going through it? Let's try that. I'm going to give you guys, let me give you guys a couple of minutes just to have a go at it, have a play around with it, mess around with it, see if you get the right answer or the wrong answer, and then I'll go through the answer. All right, so I'll give you guys a couple of minutes. All right, guys, I'm going to go through number 4 right now. So with number 4, pretty much the same kind of idea. So we're going to look at the denominators. We've got 3x and then we've got 4x. So, and I guess the common mistake that I see people do is they do cross multiplication here. So they end up doing like some sort of upside down barbecue / cross multiplication. And what ends up happening is you end up with quite an ugly looking equation. So it's really important to kind of go, okay, so what are all the items that I do have and what are things that I don't have? So in this particular case, if you notice, there's already an x in the denominator. There's also x in the denominator in the other fraction as well. So really, we don't even have to worry about the x's. All we're going to be looking at is just the 3 and the 4. Now with 3 and 4, we know the lowest common multiple is 12. So because of that, what we're going to do is we're going to take that first fraction, 2 minus 3x and 1 over 4x. So with the first fraction, what we're going to do is we're just going to multiply it by 4. And as for the second fraction, we're going to multiply the denominator by 3 and the numerator by 3 as well. So remember that the equation is still greater than or equal to 2. That's all good. So the next part is simplifying that fraction in the numerator. So we got 4 times 2, which is 8, over 12x, minus 1 times 3, which is 3, over 12x, and all of this is greater than or equal to 2. Now that we have, what do we have? We've got the 12x as a common denominator. We can actually rewrite this as 8 minus 3 over 12x is greater than or equal to 2. So the next part is 8 minus 3, which equals to 5, over 12x is greater than or equal to 2. Now remember, we want to actually write x by itself. So even though I've got 5 over 12 on the left-hand side, the only thing I really need to move is the x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave 5 over 12 here as it is, but I'm going to move the x across to the right-hand side. And that means it comes to the numerator, which means it's x up there. And now I've got to get rid of that 2. So I've got 5 over 12 times by 2 here. So basically what ends up happening is that my answer will become 5 over 24. So x is less than or equal to 5 over 24. So if you guys would like another question like number 4, just let me know in the comment section and I can put another question like number 4. Otherwise, we can move on to question number 5. Thank you, Zainab. I guess we do go to the next question. Cool. So with question 5, we're going to have a super short session today at the rate we're going, guys, but that's all right. So question 5, what we have got here is we don't actually have 3x plus 8. Yeah, I think you're on the right track there, mate. Definitely on the right track, Portergate. So question 5, what happens is that we don't actually have a fraction, right? Now remember that anytime you have a number by itself, so let's say you got something like 7. 7 is the same thing as saying 7 over 1. All right? And then we've got x. If I say x, then this is the same thing as saying x over 1. So in other words, what we've got here is we've actually got x plus 4, and that's actually over 1, plus x minus 4 over 3. All right, so that's basically what that x plus 4 is. Because x plus 4 is by itself, we can actually write that as divided by 1. Once we do that, we can see that the lowest common multiple is 3. So I'm going to multiply the denominator by 3 and the numerator by 3. But really important in this case that you put a bracket around that x plus 4. Because that 3 is getting multiplied to x plus 4. All right, and if you don't put the bracket, sometimes people just go 3 times x and forget about the 4. So now that we've done that, what we then need to do is we need to expand the brackets. So we got 3 times x, which is 3x, and then 3 times 4, which is 12. All that is divided by 3 plus x minus 4 over 3. Combining it together, we've got 3x plus 12 plus x minus 4. All of that is over 3. So then pick off our like terms. So we got 3x plus x, which is 4x. 12 minus 4 is 8. But Portugate, remember that it's actually over 3. Yeah, nice, Fatima. So yeah, that 4x plus 8 over 3 is what we're doing when we're trying to simplify that equation as far as we can. Did you guys want another tricky number 5, a tricky one, or you think, actually no, I'll do one more question with 5. I'll call it 5b, because I'm going to put a little trick there for you guys, which is a common mistake that we see people do all the time. Yep, try 5b there. And I guarantee you, there's a lot of people that end up making mistakes with 5b. The only thing I'm going to give you guys a hint with, just be careful with that negative sign. All right, so I'm going to give you guys about a couple of minutes just to quickly have a go at that question before we get on to question number 6. X minus 2 over 3. You sure about that, Portugate? I hope you guys, right, is that correct? Let's have a look. -2. Yep. That's one of the reasons I give you guys this question, because it's like, it's so easy for you guys to make this mistake, but you're going to see where you guys actually made that mistake. See how there's 2 answers popping up in the comment section right now. We got a -2 and we got a -4. And I'm going to show you guys the mistake. If you did get -2, I'm going to show you guys where you made that mistake from. So have a look. So first thing is this. We know that this is divided by 1, right? So that's all fine. So we're going to write that up as 2x minus 1 over 1 minus 4x plus 1 over 3. Now, this little minus that I've actually highlighted, all right, it's the same thing that I talked about earlier in this case right here. Notice how I said that 3 is actually affecting for that whole bracket. So this 3 right here has an impact on this whole bracket. So it's pretty much the same kind of idea here as well with that negative sign. So when we have that negative sign, it's going to impact the 4x plus 1. No worries, John. Should start the level 2 soon. So the next step is we're going to change that 1 in the denominator to 3. So we're going to multiply by 3 and the numerator by 3, and we're going to put a little bracket around the 2x minus 1. So when we do that, what we're going to get is 3 bracket 2x minus 1 bracket over 3 minus 4x plus 1. And notice how I actually put 4x plus 1 in brackets. No, Portugate, that negative actually affects the whole fraction. So 4x plus 1, think about it like it's in a bracket, and then over 3. So what's happening here is we've actually got 3 times 2x, 3 times -1, and the next thing is negative times negative. So imagine it like that. If there's a negative symbol, that means there's actually a number that's -1. So it's going to be -1 times 4x and -1 times +1. So we end up with getting 3 times 2x is 6x, 3 times -1 is -3 over 3, and then we've got minus 4x and minus 1. And in fact, all of that is over 3 right there, like that. And because of that, we're going to get 2x minus 4 over 3. Invicta is not been too bad, but you know, I guess I kind of go stuck between like, do I do stuff for MCAT, or will there be an MCAT? I don't know. Or do I just start focusing on externals now? So not sure. But in terms of myself, yeah, it's been good spending time with my son and just kind of mucking around at home. Zero benefit, Becky. Absolutely zero, except for the fact that I go to sleep knowing that I've actually helped some kids for the day. Especially when it comes to maths, that's all. Yeah, there's no monetization for this. I switched it off because I think it was a bit of a long story with the monetize, but like, yeah. Oh, glad to hell, Annie. So one more with question type, like type number 5, or you think you guys ready for the big leagues with number 6? What to do if not confident? I'll tell you what, Gab, I'm gonna give you a playlist for you that should keep you fairly busy for, is this for a level 1 MCAT? So Gab P, if you are, there you go, that playlist there, that should keep you busy till the MCAT. I guarantee it, like, you watch through that whole playlist, if you don't get an achieved, I'll be pretty surprised with that. Because there's just so much revision stuff there for you to watch. And also attend the live tutorials, because then you can actually ask for help, and you know, if you don't understand questions, then you can actually just, I'm happy to sit through it and just work with you. Annie Bryan, did you have a look at the, so there's a hidden playlist in my channel called Mathedemic Level 2. If you find it, let me see if I can find it. I don't know where I put it, but algebra, there's some really good algebra stuff that I did there. If I can find it, where the hell is it? Give me 1 second, I'll find it. Because there's a good playlist there with covers all of, oh, here we go, Mathedemic Level 2. So Annie, go and have a look at this from, I think that's from, I call it episodes, but like session, is it session 2 onwards that I just started doing algebra? Let me just check, give me a second. Yeah, so I would actually say, Annie, go from video number 2 and start watching that, and that should help you out with level 2 algebra. TEG is good. Like I usually do the videos after MCAT is over. I'll do the video for geometry after that as well, but chance and data, just like, yeah, it's not my thing. So anyway, let's go to question number 6. And I know we kind of drifted off a bit. Did you guys solve question 6? What did you guys get? Throw some answers up there. Doesn't matter, guys, even if you get the wrong answer, because like, look, when I was doing this at your age, I was getting like 5 different answers. So, but you learn, right, when you make mistakes. By the way, I'm going to be honest with you. If you can actually do number 6, I will say that you probably are pretty much sorted with algebraic fractions, inequalities, simplifying equations, solving equations. Yeah, so that's why this question is probably one of my favorite questions, because it pretty much covers everything you need, at least some major parts in algebra for you guys. What is expected in level 2 statistics? Nothing to do with, I think it's different for each school guy, Ezra. Like, it depends which school you're at and what courses they're offering. So I won't be able to comment on it, because I know that some schools, they do purely stats courses. Some schools do a mixture of stats and algebra. So I don't know what your school does, unfortunately. Yeah, if you just go to the usually the school site, and if you look at level 2 stats, they'll give you the standards. Yeah, go with that. Are we ready to go through question 6 yet, or we got x is less than 14? Again, don't forget the symbol. The symbol is looking a bit sketchy there. I've got a less than or equal to. To write that in thingy, you would normally do it like this. Thingy, latex form as they call it. So if you want to write it in the computer, yeah, you put like this, as I mentioned before in the comments. Okay, let's have a crack at this question. All right, so see what happens. See what happens with your answer. Let's see how we go. And what I'll also do is I'll actually put some line numbers. So if you guys have any questions at particular lines, then you should be able to just kind of go, oh, what happened at line 5, for example. Okay, so let's get this going. First step, what we have is, just to make things a bit easy for me, I'm going to put a over 1 there. And I've just lost my pen, have I? That's not fun. Give me a second, folks. Just got to reset it. Oh, come on. Give me like 30 seconds while I reset my pen here. No, I've got problems. No, we're back. Cool. So what did I say? We're going to say over 1 first as the first thing. And the second thing, I'm going to also put a little reminder for myself. I'm going to put a little bracket around the 2x plus 1 because of that stupid negative there, which is always going to cause grief. So the next thing is finding the lowest common multiple, which is 3 in this case. So I've got x plus 2 over 1 minus 2x plus 1 over 3 less than or equal to 3. So let's actually mess this around. So what have we got? We've got times 3 here in the denominator and the numerator. So if we do that, then what I have is 3 bracket x plus 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put everything in one big denominator of 3. So I've got 3x plus 2 minus 2x plus 1 is less than or equal to 3. So the first 3 I'm going to get rid of is this 3 in the denominator. But I'm also going to expand the numerator as well. So I'm going to expand the numerator first. Let's do that first. So remember, there's a negative 1 there in front. So what we've got is 3 times x, which is 3x, 3 times 2, which is 6. Negative 1 times 2x is negative 2x. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. All of that is over 3, less than or equal to 3. And what I've got is collecting all my like terms. So 3x minus 2x is x. 6 minus 1 is 5 over 3, less than or equal to 3. And get rid of the 3. So I've got really having problems with my pen today. It's fine. What is happening? Let's try this. So I've got x plus 5 is less than or equal to 3 multiplied by 3. And then you're going to get x plus 5 is less than or equal to 9 and then x is less than or equal to 9, what do we got? Take away 5. So x is less than or equal to 4. So what I'll do is I'll actually put some line numbers, guys. So if there's any particular line that you didn't understand, just call out on the chat section to ask me what happened in which particular line. Fatima, I would probably say it is definitely 2 merit questions in there, but like, because you're actually doing like 2 merit skills almost in this question, right? So I don't think they'd actually give you a question like this and put it as an excellence. Thanks, Zainab. I think that's why I enjoy doing this. I don't actually teach level 1 or level 2 or level 3 anymore. So let me know if you guys want another challenging one like number 6, and then we can have a go. Hell, I think if you guys are good with number 6, I think you're good to try another question that's something that gets thrown in level 2. In line number 3, so why did you multiply by 3 in line 3? I'm trying to see where that 3 comes from. Oh, sorry, in line 1. Okay, sorry, I missed that, Arjun. I thought it was line 3. The reason why we did that was because we wanted to make the denominators the same. So if you look at it, the denominator in the first case is 1, and in the second case, second fraction, it's 3. So because I want to convert that green 1 into a 3, that's why I'm doing multiplying 3 in the denominator, and if I multiply anything in the denominator, I also have to multiply in the numerator. I'll tell you what, I'm going to throw you guys another question very similar to this, and let's see how you guys go with that. But I'll leave the working for this so that you guys can actually kind of use it as a guide. Let's do this one, because I can make it like one step challenging, one more step harder, but we'll do one more like this, and I'll do one more challenging one for you guys, because what we've covered today so far, those 6 questions, is pretty much all of it is done here. So you guys are doing pretty well so far. So let's try this one here. Sorry, that should have been a bit. Try that one there. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Made a mistake. That's better. Should be a number 3. Try that one there. I'll give you guys a couple of minutes. Pretty much the same question as 6. 6B is very similar to 6. Just be careful with those negative signs. That's all I'm going to tell you guys. And I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to have a go. And then we'll do one more harder one. And I think after that we're done. And guys, once again, if you do get an answer, just throw it up there in the comment section, and then you know, usually it's a good way, because if whether you're right or wrong, it doesn't matter, because we get to learn from our mistakes. Portergate, always remember, when you write your final answer, you got to have x by itself. Otherwise, they will ping you for that. Definitely won't give you full marks for that question if you don't have x by itself. Nice, we got a couple of answers that are the same. It's alright, Portergate, that's why we keep making mistakes now. Nice, I can see already 2 different answers popping up there. So yeah, I guess when you guys see different answers coming up, you start wondering, where did I make the mistake, or did the other person make the mistake? And then you start looking through your working again to check where you made that little mistake. All right, guys, so what are we going to do is we're going to go through this question right now. Let's just see how you guys went about it. Clearly, I can see that there's 2 answers. And I guess, oh, we got a 3rd answer. Nice. Okay, let's have a look at this, all right? So our first step is always, I'm going to put, this is a fraction, so I'm going to put it as divided by 1. And I've got this pesky negative sign there. So I'm going to put a little bracket around the 8x minus 2. Arjun, you wanted to know why we multiply by 3. Because if you look at this, the denominator is 3 for this fraction. In this case, it's actually 1. That's a terrible color to choose. All right, which means I got to multiply the right-hand side, the left-hand side fraction by 3. No, Fatima, you can actually leave your answer as fractions. Yeah, it's not a big thing, unless it's a context question. When I say context question, it's like if they ask you how many kgs, if it's like a straightforward equation question, you can leave it as a fraction. So what I've got here is I've got 2x plus 3 over 1 minus 8x minus 2 over 3 is greater than or equal to 2. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm going to multiply the numerator by 3, denominator by 3, and of course put a bracket around the 2x plus 3. Once I do that, I need to just expand those brackets, right? But because I know the denominator is going to be 3 already, I'm just going to put the whole thing under 3 like that. And I'm going to just kind of, again, you can do it in any way that you want, all right? So you can expand it straight away, or you could also do it this way that I'm doing right now. It doesn't really matter. That's the beauty of algebra, right? Because you can do so many ways, different ways, and still get to the final answer. All right, so what do I got? I'm going to have the negative 1 there in front of 8x minus 2. So I've got 3 times 2x, 3 times 3, negative 1 times 8x, negative 1 times negative 2. So let's expand the brackets. So 3 times 2x, it gives me 6x. 3 times 3 is 9. Negative 1 times 8x is negative 8x. Negative 1 times negative 2 is positive 2. And all of that is over 3. And it's greater than or equal to 2. So simplify the numerator. I've got 6x minus 8x, which is negative 2x. 9 plus 2, which happens to be 11, over 3 less than or greater than or equal to 2. So get rid of the 3. So when I take the 3 to the right-hand side, because it's in the denominator, when I bring it to the opposite side, it comes in the numerator. Or the same thing as saying, because it's being divided by 3, when it comes to the other side, it's multiplied by 3. So at this point, what I've got is negative 2x. So negative 2x plus 11 is greater than or equal to 6. And then negative 2x is greater than or equal to, what do I got? 6. And because 11 is coming to this side, it's going to become minus 11. And I've got negative 2x greater than or equal to negative 5. Last step is get rid of the negative 2 to the other side, and I'm dividing by a negative number. And because I'm dividing by a negative number, I have to switch the sign. And once I've switched the sign, I can do negative 5 over negative 2. So you can leave it as just positive 5 over 2 or 2.5. So once again, guys, I'm going to put some line numbers there. So it's 1, 2, 3. So let me know how you guys went, and if there's any questions, just call out the line number and I'm happy to talk it through. So Chronics, I hope you picked up, and same with Portergate as well. I hope you guys picked up that symbol, right? Because that's the only thing that I can see wrong with your guys working. And Becky, I'm guessing it's you probably, instead of dividing by negative 2, I'm assuming you actually plus negative 2. That's why you can get that negative 3. Minor mistake, that's all right. So Chronics, that's something that we do with inequalities. So inequalities, where was it? Right at the start. No, we talked about it. Did I talk about it today at all? Yeah, we did. Right at number 2. But anyway, with inequalities, you treat it, when I say inequalities, I'm talking about these symbols here. So whenever you have, hang on, let me just write that down. So if you have like x greater than, so 2x is 5, for example. So when you divide by a positive number, nothing really happens to the symbol. You just leave it as it is. However, when it's actually negative number, what ends up happening is when you divide by a negative number, that's the only time you have to actually swap the signs around. And the reason is because it's I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's super hard to explain it in front of a class. Trying to do it online is even more trickier. But if you think about it like this, it's see how you have this x, right? So what you have got here is a negative number and a positive number multiplying each other, and then it has to be bigger than 5, which means you can't actually have the x can't actually be a number, like it can't be a positive number. It has to be a negative number, and it has to be, and negative numbers go the other way, right? So it goes smaller and smaller and smaller. But when you multiply two negative numbers, it will become bigger. I don't think I'm doing justice to why you swap the symbols. Maybe one day if I see you face to face, I can actually visually show it, but it's fairly hard to try and explain it online. But yeah, it's just something that's just worth remembering, is that anytime you're dealing with inequalities, and I'll give you guys another hint as well. With the MCAT, most of the time when they have an inequality sign, I would say almost, like, I've done so many questions on MCAT from the past year's papers. I don't think I remember getting a single question where it's where the signs haven't changed. Like, they always give questions where the signs have actually changed. Let me just have a quick look at last year's paper. Did we do an inequality last year? No, that's not an inequality. That's a different question. Yeah, see, now this one, they've actually kept it really simple. They didn't actually even... this is last year's question, by the way. I mean, you look at this question from last year, which is a merit question. Yeah, and I kind of put that mental note there in the example. Like, if you do divide by a negative number, then you end up with changing the symbol. But in this particular question, even last year's question, you didn't even need to change it. It was just straightforward. Sorry, I'm just looking at the comment section on Chif's explanation. 2x minus 2 less than... Oh, you're talking about the why you swap the symbols. Yeah, it's kind of a weird one to try and explain it online, but maybe it's something I just need to rethink. Because the way I explain things to students is how I see the like how I see it, and then I can simplify it. So yeah, I still haven't actually had a play around with this. Anyway, are you guys happy with this? Do you guys want another challenging question, or are we actually done for the night? Fairly quiet. One more. Okay, I'll tell you what, how about we do one more, but instead of 6b, we'll do one more higher one, which is not a higher one, just, yeah, one more inequality. But let's actually, let's throw in the towel and make it a little bit more fun, yeah? So what do we got? 6c. Okay, now look, I'm just going to make this question up on the spot, so it might need a little bit of tinkering, but trust me, you guys have all the skills. If you've been watching from the beginning, I guarantee it, you know how to do this question. But it's going to look complicated, but it's not. There we go. 6c. So do exactly what you've been kind of doing around today. Combine the fraction, be careful with the symbols, and then move all the numbers to the right hand side and you should be good to go. So I'm going to give you guys about 4 minutes for this. Just give you guys some good time to have a crack at this, all right? And then when you're done, just chuck up the answers and then we'll go through it. I'm going to leave the working there for you guys for 6b there. So if you do need a guide, you can have a look at it. Okay. Give you guys one more minute, and then I'll go through it. Eight, I got 6. Six over 8. Okay. Which side is the symbol going, Arjun? Pointing to the right side or pointing to the left side? Nice. We got a couple of answers there. Awesome. Let's actually go through it now and see how where we made mistakes and how to avoid those silly mistakes. All right. Cool. So we've got 3 and 2. So what we're going to do is we are going to know that, well, 3 and 2, lowest common multiple is 6. So because of that, let me just write this down first. 2x minus 1 over 3 minus 4x plus 1 over 2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply denominator by 2, numerator by 2, and put a bracket around there. As for this case, I'm going to multiply by 3 and 3. And of course, all of that is greater than or equal to 1. All right, let's have a look. So now I know the denominator is 6. I don't have to worry about it. I'm just going to leave the denominator as one big 6. And I've got 2 multiplied by 2x minus 1 minus, now remember, this 3 here, and we're multiplying by 3. So it doesn't matter if you leave it at the end, but prefer putting it in the front like this. All right, just so that it's actually easier for us to actually expand the bracket. Because remember, if I have something like this, 2 times 3 is the same thing as saying 3 times 2. Did my screen pause? Okay, give me a second. It's my, no, got it. Every now and then it just tends to crash my app here. So just give me 1 second, guys. I did reset the machine. I thought it would be back to normal, but just got to restart the streaming software. I don't know why, just suddenly this last kind of few days I've had issues with streaming. Just suddenly it freezes. Come on, pick it up. How do I go refresh? There you got it. Yay. Okay, there we go. We're back. You're all good? You guys good with that? Can you guys see it? Should be, because I can see it moving here. Sweet. Cool. Just do I need to go through those 2 lines again, or? So all I was talking about was, you know how we actually did that whole multiply by 3. So I'm just going to bring that 3 right to the front there. So that's all I've done there, just to make it easy for me to expand the bracket, all right? So once I do that, then I'm going to expand the brackets out. So I've got 2 times 2x, 2 times -1. Now this is considered as -3 times 4x and -3 times 1. So when I do this, 2 times 2x is 4x, 2 times -1 is -2, -3 times 4x is -12x, and then -3 times 1 is -3. All of that is divided by 6, greater than or equal to 1. Simplifying the 4x minus 12x, it gives me -8x. -2 minus 3 is -5 over 6, greater than or equal to 1. Now get rid of the 6 to the other side. So I've got -8x minus 5 is greater than or equal to 1 multiplied by 6. And then I've got -8x is greater than or equal to 6. Minus 5 when it comes to this side becomes plus 5. And so I've got -8x is greater than or equal to 11. And then x is equal to 11 divided by -8. And because I'm dividing by a negative number, I need to switch my symbol to 11 over, well, switch the symbol to the other side. So in maths generally, we don't actually leave negative numbers in the denominator. So we just rewrite this as -11 over 8. That's basically it. But if you do leave your answer as 11 over -8, then that's all good as well. That's all right, Arjun. I mean, like, see, if you do a question like this and if you can show you're working, you generally, like, there are some excellence questions, especially at level 2 and level 3. If you show the full working and if it's a minor error, but then they can see all of your working and your final answer is correct based on that minor error, then they usually tend to give you like a E7, or sometimes they do questions. I'm trying to think, was there an E8 with minor errors or not? I don't think it's an E7 there, but yeah, this I would say this is probably a merit question in level 2 algebra. I just thought I'd just throw it out to you guys. I didn't actually tell you that it was a level 2 merit algebra question, but yeah, this is some of the question you might be facing at level 2. At level 1, I don't think you'll even come close to a question like this. Like maybe one fraction, but not like two fractions and with a negative and an inequality. At the moment, I'm scheduled for Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, guys. Trust me, Arjun, level 2 is a lot more easier compared. Like I find level 2 a lot more easier to teach as well. But level 1, there are some skills that you need. And then after that, level 2 just becomes quite easy. Yeah. So guys, that's basically it for today. I mean, I know we kind of hit the 1 hour mark just before, but I know it was really quiet today, which is really good because then, you know, people can actually ask questions. But everybody happy with that question 6C? Did anybody have any questions? No, we're sweet. Let me just find level 2, because I did do level 2. What's a question that we did similar to level 2 right now? Oh, don't get me wrong, there were some ugly questions there. Oh, maybe not last year. That's all right. Okay, yeah, no worries, Becky. As I said, guys, like, look, there's not a lot of people that actually know that I exist, especially year 11s don't know I even exist, but feel free to pass this on. We'll be running more tutorials. Is this level 2? No, Blake, I just threw a level 2 question at some of the guys that were doing the MCAT, and they seemed to handle it pretty well, so no, level 1 today. So yeah, just pass on the message to other folks. If there are people that are struggling with just prepping for the MCAT, I would actually say to them, you know, pass this playlist particularly on. I'll share with you guys. Where is it? Here we go. Share this playlist because this playlist just covers a lot of questions. Which school is this, Arjun? Curious to know if I know some people there, that's all. Oh, Pap. Arjun, I was there like on Thursday for the ePro 8 and came in and said hello to a few of the people there. I hear Pap guys use my stuff quite a bit. I know quite a few teachers in the math department there, so good people. All right, guys, I'll wrap it up at the moment. I will see you guys. Alan, yeah, I visited him on when was it? Thursday last week, was it? Yeah, Thursday last week. I came into his class and said hello to his Year 11 class and a few other people down in M Block. It was good fun. Tell him I'm still waiting for his channel to start because I keep giving him grief about it. Yeah, no worries, Becky. All right, guys, look, I'm gonna take off. Got a few more episodes of some animated catch up on. Bloody people hooked me onto it. But anyway, yep, I'll see you guys on Tuesday, right? Tuesday we might kick off at about 7:30 or 7:45. I will put it on Instagram as well. I know I forgot to put it on Instagram today that I was running it. Blake? No, it's not Blake. It's like I mean, when we start going through some of those like there's a set of standard excellence questions that come, and if you do get like two of them, and then you try and get the other excellence question, which usually tends to be the tricky one, you can get an E fairly easily. It's just you just got to be aware that like how to answer certain questions, like certain word questions. And if you do, it's fairly easy to get an excellence, man. So don't stress about it. Like you still got about a month to practice. You know that big playlist that I have, like with 142 questions in it, like go through one at a time. Just sit there, put that on. You'll see a lot of different varieties of questions that get asked. I would even suggest like go to my exam questions and just go straight to the E questions and just have a look at it. Because that way it will help you as well, just to kind of see what type of questions they ask for excellence. Cool, guys. That's me. Take care. I'll see you Tuesday, right? Bye. Have a good night and stay safe.